In 2026, Black singles are leaving America's biggest cities in record numbers. Let's find out which cities top the list, and why. New York City, always expensive, always dazzling, and always a magnet for dreamers. For generations, it's been the place where ambition meets opportunity, where the city's pulse draws in people from every walk of life. But beneath the bright lights and iconic skyline, a new reality is setting in. One that's making it harder than ever for Black singles to call this city home. The cost of living has always been high, but now, for Black singles, it's nearly impossible to find a place that feels both affordable and welcoming. Every apartment search ends with sticker shock, and the dream of a cozy spot in a vibrant neighborhood feels more out of reach than ever. Rents in Brooklyn, Harlem, and the Bronx have soared to record highs, pricing out longtime residents and newcomers alike. Even the neighborhoods that once offered a sense of community and culture are now battlegrounds for bidding wars and luxury developments. Gentrification is sweeping through block by block, erasing Black culture from entire neighborhoods. Black-owned businesses that once anchored communities are closing their doors, replaced by trendy cafes and high-end boutiques. Murals that told the stories of resilience and pride are painted over, their history fading with every brushstroke. Affordable housing, the wait lists are endless, stretching for years with no guarantee of relief. For many, the process feels like a lottery with impossible odds, and the hope of finding a stable home grows dimmer with each passing month. Community ties are fraying as familiar faces disappear, replaced by new, wealthier residents. Lifelong friendships are tested by distance, and the sense of belonging that once defined these neighborhoods is slipping away. The city's rhythm is changing, and not everyone can keep up. The city's energy, once electrifying, now feels exhausting. Commutes stretch for hours, side hustles are a must just to make ends meet, and real connection is rare. The hustle that once felt inspiring now feels relentless, leaving little time for rest or relationships. For many, the dream of living here is slipping away. Packing up isn't just about leaving an apartment, it's about leaving behind memories, hopes, and the possibility of building a future in the city they love. The exodus isn't about wanting to leave, it's about survival. It's about choosing between paying rent and building a life, between staying in a city that no longer feels like home and seeking opportunity elsewhere. Each departure is a quiet act of resilience, but also a loss for the city's soul. As Black singles go, New York loses the diversity and vibrancy that made it iconic. The city's unique blend of cultures, stories, and traditions is fading, replaced by a sameness that can't compare to the richness of what once was. The city may never sleep, but it's definitely changing. And as the Big Apple's price climbs ever higher, the question remains, who will be left to call it home? Los Angeles, sun, stars, and the promise of endless opportunity. For generations, this city has been a beacon for dreamers, artists, and those searching for a fresh start. The palm-lined boulevards and iconic skyline have long symbolized hope, ambition, and the possibility of reinvention. But beneath the golden glow, a different reality is taking shape. Today, the cost of living in LA is soaring to unimaginable heights. Rent that's out of this world is now the norm, not the exception. For many, the dream of having a place to call your own feels more distant than ever. Even basic apartments come with price tags that would make anyone's head spin, and the struggle to keep up is relentless. For Black singles, the challenges are even steeper. The job market is shifting, with industries changing and opportunities shrinking. Stable, well-paying jobs are harder to find, and the competition is fierce. Many are forced to juggle multiple gigs just to make ends meet, leaving little time or energy for building the life they once imagined here. Neighborhoods like Leimert Park and Inglewood, once vibrant centers of Black culture and community, are changing at a dizzying pace. Luxury condos and upscale developments are replacing beloved landmarks and gathering places. The sense of history and belonging that once defined these areas is being eroded, replaced by a feeling of uncertainty and loss. The city's legendary sprawl and relentless traffic only add to the struggle. Hours spent commuting mean less time for friends, family, and self-care. The sheer size of LA can make it feel isolating, with real connections hard to build and even harder to maintain. The city that once promised community now often delivers distance. Even the nightlife, once a vibrant escape, feels out of reach. After long days spent hustling, exhaustion takes over. The energy to go out, meet new people, or simply unwind is sapped by the daily grind. The city's famous after-dark scene is fading for those who need it most. Finding authentic, welcoming spaces is harder every year. Black-owned businesses and community hubs are fighting to survive. But rising costs and shifting demographics make it an uphill battle. The places where people once found support, friendship, and belonging are disappearing, leaving many feeling adrift. For many, the hustle just isn't worth it anymore. The dream that brought them here has become a burden, and the decision to leave is both heartbreaking and necessary. Each departure is a story of hope deferred, a potential lost to forces beyond any one person's control. As Black singles and creatives leave, LA risks losing the very soul that made it shine. The city's legendary creativity, its music, art, and culture are at risk of fading away. The spaces that once nurtured talent and innovation are closing their doors, and the next generation wonders if there's still a place for them here. The glitter remains, shimmering in the night, but the city's heart is fading. Los Angeles still dazzles from a distance, but for many the dream has slipped just out of reach, leaving behind memories of what once was, and questions about what the future holds. Chicago's legendary Black communities are facing tough times. Crime rates and safety concerns are real, and economic opportunities are shrinking. Gentrification is pushing residents out of historic neighborhoods like Bronzeville and South Shore. Harsh winters and rising costs make it tempting to look elsewhere. The city's music, food, and festivals still draw people in, but the sense of security and belonging is fading. For Black singles, building a future here feels uncertain. The exodus is changing Chicago's heartbeat, one U-Haul at a time. The city stands, but its soul is at risk. Atlanta, long celebrated as a haven for Black singles and a beacon of opportunity in the South, is now facing a crossroads. For decades, the city was a magnet for young professionals, artists, and entrepreneurs seeking a vibrant community and a place to build their dreams. But today, the city's landscape is shifting in ways that are hard to ignore. Housing prices are soaring at a pace that outstrips wages, and affordable apartments are nearly impossible to find. Once, Atlanta was known for its reasonable cost of living, but now, even longtime residents are being priced out of neighborhoods they've called home for years. The dream of finding a comfortable, affordable place to live in the city is slipping away for many. Newcomers, drawn by Atlanta's reputation and economic growth, are changing the city's vibe. Gentrification is transforming historic neighborhoods, and the sense of community that once defined Atlanta is fading. Longtime residents often feel like strangers in their own city, watching as familiar faces and local businesses disappear. The social scene, once open and welcoming, has become more exclusive. New hotspots cater to a different crowd, and the competition for jobs is fiercer than ever. For many, it feels like the city's promise of opportunity is reserved for a select few, leaving others feeling left out and overlooked. The promise of opportunity that once drew so many to Atlanta is starting to feel hollow. As businesses close and job prospects dwindle for some, the city's economic engine sputters. Young professionals who moved here for a fresh start are now questioning whether Atlanta can still deliver on its reputation. Daily life is further complicated by traffic and transit woes. Atlanta's notorious gridlock and unreliable public transportation add hours to commutes, draining energy and time from residents who are already feeling the strain of city living. As a result, more Black singles and professionals are looking beyond Atlanta's city limits. They're searching for places where community feels stronger, where affordability is within reach, and where the promise of opportunity is more than just a memory. Cities like Charlotte, Houston, and Dallas are now on their radar. As these talented and ambitious individuals leave, Atlanta risks losing the very culture, creativity, and drive that made it a Southern star. The city stands at a turning point. Will it find a way to hold on to its legacy, or will it watch its brightest lights fade away? Washington, D.C., once a magnet for ambitious Black singles, is feeling less welcoming in 2026. Political tension is constant, and the cost of living is sky-high. Gentrification is transforming neighborhoods, erasing Black history and culture. Work-life balance is nearly impossible, and burnout is real. Even nightlife and cultural events feel less accessible and authentic. Many are searching for cities where they can breathe easier and feel connected. As Black singles leave, DC risks losing the energy and talent that defined it. The city's soul is on the line. Houston's boom is losing its shine for Black singles. Urban sprawl means long commutes and less time for connection. The job market is unpredictable, and affordable housing is slipping away. Cultural shifts are making some feel less at home. Natural disasters add another layer of uncertainty. More Black singles are questioning if Houston is still the land of opportunity. The city's vibrancy is at risk as the exodus grows. Miami's sun and nightlife come with rising rents and climate risks. For Black singles, affordability is a major challenge, and hurricanes make long-term planning tough. Gentrification is changing neighborhoods like Overtown and Liberty City, pushing out long-time residents. Job opportunities aren't keeping up with costs, and the culture is shifting toward tourists. More Black singles are deciding it's time to move on. Miami's famous diversity and energy could be at risk if this trend continues. The city's future depends on keeping its communities strong. Skyrocketing costs, shifting job markets, and changing cultures are driving Black singles out of America's biggest cities. Are you seeing these changes in your city? Share your story below, and let's keep the conversation going about where Black singles can find true opportunity and community today.